What's up, everybody? This is Unpopular Popular Opinions, and this is a rant. This is not a review, okay? My channel is new as far as actually being used, and every now and then I will do a review, but mostly I'm doing rants, okay? I like to say stuff other people don't like to say, stuff that may not be popular, okay? I have opinions on things that most people are afraid to speak of, even though they may have the same opinion, okay? Now, this is a rant, not a review. So if you're looking for a review, you can go to another channel. But I will talk about certain things on two devices in particular, the Nextbit Robin and the LG V20. I'm actually filming with the LG V20, so I'm going to use this as a prop. And you can also use this as a review on the recording quality, sound quality of the LG V20. Okay, I have it in manual mode, 4K. It's not going to show up 4K on YouTube. It's probably going to be 1080p or whatever resolution your screen or device allows for, but up to 4K. Now, I'll just tell you now, everything is excellent on this phone. It's made of plastic. It's sturdy. People complain about it being sharp in their hands. Jay Williams, man up. Go to the gym or something. This is my daughter's phone. She doesn't complain about the size. It's a relatively big phone for a child or for anybody. You can see it fits, it's just compared to the size of the case for the V20. Okay, look at the two cases. They're not that big of a difference. Okay. When you're doing a review, learn how to review it for its targeted or intended audience. This is for children, teenagers, women. It's not for a man. It's not for the construction worker. Okay. It's not for the power user. I bought my daughter this phone specifically because her other phones have always run out of space. I'd send her a call or a text message and she couldn't get a voicemail or receive her messages because it ran out of space and her apps wouldn't transfer over to her SD card because some apps don't do that. So this is a smartphone. It sends stuff straight to the cloud when it's not being used or when it's running out of memory, and it'll bring the settings back. You click on it and it'll bring the settings back to how you had it. You don't have to re-enter your password or anything. Fingerprint scanner. It's fast, okay? We're not going to talk about, I'm not going to get into specs, front and rear camera. The camera's excellent, okay? I might put a couple of pictures up of, pictures I took with it. LG V20. If you're going to talk about a device, talk about its intended audience, who it's targeted for, its main features. I'm tired of you guys doing camera comparisons and you don't do the manual mode on here. For one, yes, when you take it out the box, the auto shooter is bad. Okay, it's not that bad, but it's bad compared to the top 5 phones. But that's because if you're a tech person, learn how to work your device. This by default is set, the HDR is set to on. You have to either turn the HDR off or on auto. Then you have a camera, auto camera that's top 5 that can compare to the S7 or iPhone 7 or Google Pixel. You praise the Google Pixel, but it has lens flare out of this world. Oh my goodness. Low light, night pictures, anything that has lights in the background, lens flare is terrible. But you guys don't talk about that because you guys like to get early access to devices, which means more views to your channels, which means more money in your pockets. All of a sudden, at around the same time, you have like Jay Williams, I forget the other guy's name, guy from New Orleans. It sounds like George Foreman. All of a sudden, these guys are coming out with videos and hating on this phone for reasons that doesn't make sense. Okay, you liked it at first. You had a couple of gripes about the camera. Everything else was beast on it. All of a sudden, you don't like anything about the phone. Support their channel. Go to their channel and look at their videos. See what I'm talking about. Subscribe to it or whatever. I don't care. I'm not a hater. I'm subscribed to their channel still. I don't like their reviews lately. Okay, you have people Samsung and Google and all, they will give you early access to their devices, which, like I said, gives you more money in your pockets. They'll give you early access to the devices if you have a somewhat sizable following, a few thousand subscribers, and if you give them a favorable opinion. They'll say, hey, he gives us favorable opinions, we'll send him stuff early. So then all of a sudden they find that out. So they say, oh, let me go review the LG V20 again 2 months later and compare it to the latest other phone. Oh, this sucks. Samsung loves that. Hey, you'll get the S8 2 weeks earlier than everybody else. You can drop your review the day before the device comes out or whatever. More money in their pockets. They caught on to that. That's what they're doing. Let me tell you what makes a successful reviewer. And I'm not trying to be a reviewer. Marquez Brownlee. It's not the quality of his videos, because I watch all kind of videos. I don't care about the quality of your video. I want to know about the device, the product I'm reviewing or watching, that I'm viewing. Okay. He is objective. Okay. He will say, this has a beast manual mode camera. Pocket Now, they're the same. This has a beast manual mode camera. Nothing else is touching it. But I don't use manual mode. I don't really care about that, but I want the best picture for Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever social media you use. I want the best picture right away just by pulling my phone out and double clicking or turning on the camera and shooting. But they will at least mention that this is the best manual mode camera if you have time for that, and mention its targeted audience. You other guys, you just hate on it. Oh, this garbage is crap. Like I said, just turn the HDR mode off or onto auto. Simple as that. Okay? If you're complaining about the size of the phone, nobody, I don't care what size phone you have, uses their phone with one hand all the time. There's Google. I'm not going to say it because I don't want my Google to activate while I'm filming. Okay? You can do most features on your phone just by saying those magic words. Okay? I have slightly larger than average hands. I can use this if I, use like a pivoting point and, do this and balance it. And I have done it before. But you don't see anybody using even a 5.1-inch phone with one hand. It's uncomfortable to do it just on the fly, regardless of the size. Okay? Speed. Who cares if a device is slightly, a couple of milliseconds faster than another in certain tasks? Pretty much they balance out anyways. The fastest phone might be, you might save 10 minutes of upload and download or app opening speeds over the slowest phone. That shouldn't be a determining factor. It shouldn't even be talked about unless something is so egregiously horrible. Unless it just hangs up all the time. Every phone has a hiccup every now and then. Okay? It's not even worth mentioning. Okay? What a phone is made of, okay, that should be the last thing. It shouldn't be the determining factor. It should only be a factor if all other things are equal. Okay, well, this phone looks better. I'm going to get this one instead. I had a hard time making up my mind, but you know what? I just like the look and feel of this one better. That's when that comes into play. Something being waterproof or water resistant, IP68, that comes into play. Okay, that's a major factor. But if you're having a hard time, okay, water resistance versus quad DAC manual mode camera, 50-50. I don't know which one is more important to me. How often do you have your phone in water? How often have you damaged the phone due to water? Or how often do you use your quad DAC or your manual mode? That has to come into play. And if you still can't determine, well, you know what? I can't figure it out, so I'm just going to get the S7 because it looks better. Fine. But don't be petty. Don't be petty, especially if you're a reviewer. Okay? You shouldn't be petty if you're a reviewer. Would you pay attention to a movie critic if they only did things subjectively? If they reviewed like the movie Up as if it was a true story? Oh, it's unrealistic. I don't care how many balloons you have, it's not going to lift the house up off the foundation. Okay? Or this had a plot hole in it. It's a movie. I don't care what movie it is, unless it's a biopic or documentary or something that has to be factually true. Who cares if there's a slight plot hole? Okay, major plot hole, fine. But a cartoon, the movie within itself is a plot hole. Okay? So don't dog a kid's movie because it doesn't compare to an adult's movie. It's not Avatar. That's a family movie. Okay? It's not Terminator. Okay? There's things in your favorite movies that I can pick apart, but it's entertainment. Stop being so damn anal retentive. Okay? I'm not going to keep this video going too long. But yeah, just learn how to be objective. Don't talk about, or you say, well, I'm not going to talk about the manual mode of the V20 because nobody really uses that. But then you pull out the Note 5 or the Note 7 when it was available, and then you talk about that either. They use it a little bit when it first comes out, then they lose it or just don't use it that often. Okay? Now think about it. Can you use that S Pen and the phone with one hand? Does that make sense to you? You see where I'm coming from? You talk about the secondary screen. Oh man, but I can't get to it with one hand. That's a bonus feature. Okay? You don't use the S Pen with one hand while holding the phone. You can't do it. At least it's possible for me to pivot and use it with one hand. It doesn't make sense. I didn't even really think about that specifically until now. But don't talk about the S Pen's features or the fact that the Note line has S Pen if you're not going to talk about the features of the LG V20. That's the flagship feature of the phone. That's the main feature. How are you going to do an auto shootout and then not talk about what makes this win? For instance, I'm filming this in 4K, ultra high definition. Okay, it's not going to show up 4K on your screen probably unless you have a 4K capable device. Okay, but what other device records in 4K for longer than 5 minutes? This will continue recording in 4K until you stop the video. It'll segment it after 11 minutes 23 seconds, but it will still keep recording and it'll stitch it together seamlessly. Okay, no other device does that. So that's one of the reasons why I have this. And like I said already, and I'll say it again, the auto camera is on par with the other top devices I should say, but you just have to turn the HDR off or put it into auto. But by default it comes on. That takes care of all the static background noise and all of that. It takes care of all of that. Okay? So yeah, this is just a rant. I'm trying to purposely go over 10 minutes and it's still recording. That's so you can do a review on, so you can get an opinion on the quality of the LG V20 camera, video camera, manual mode. I'll bring a couple of things up. I have a light up here for filming, so it'll get bright if I go too close at an angle. Okay, left ear, right ear, center. Okay, just in case you want to know more about the recording capabilities. You probably would have thought I was using a professional camera had I not mentioned that. Items up close. I have everything in true to life color. I don't have any exaggerations to make things bluer than they actually are. Like a lot of these reviewers like to do. Oh man, look at these colors next to each other. Nobody takes pictures with the same scenery with two different cameras at the same time, and then sits there and looks at them for 5 minutes. You're sitting there trying to see which one you like the best for that long. Then you might as well go into manual mode and make it to how you want in the first place. Okay, but nobody does that. Doesn't look appealing to you. Why do you have to compare it to the Joneses? Why does the grass have to be greener on the other side? You're wasting your life away doing that. But then you complain that something opens up slightly faster, but you're sitting there judging something longer than you should by its appearance compared to something else. That needs to stop. If you're a professional reviewer, learn how to be objective. Learn how to review towards a targeted audience. The Nextbit Robin is for kids, teenagers, and maybe women. It's not for men if you care about materials. The build quality is excellent. They don't, that's another thing. These guys don't know how to decipher between build quality and build materials. The materials are plastic. They are not premium. You don't want a child having a phone made of rubies, diamonds, emeralds, gold, sapphires, and all that glass and aluminum or metal or whatever. Like I said, if that's a determining factor for you, that's fine. It's your money. But if you're a reviewer, it's your job as a reviewer to be objective. Okay? That's the key word. Be objective. Review your items or devices according to their targeted audience and talk about everything of that device. Don't leave something out just because you don't use it or you feel as though most people don't use it. There are those of us that do use it. Don't leave us out of it, man. Talk about it all. Even if you don't use it, talk about it. Show us the manual mode, how it works. If you can't do that, then you are not a techie. That's my problem. Is I don't have a problem with people. I have a problem with what they say and what they claim to be. If you're calling yourself a techie, then get technical. And on that note, I'm out. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so that you can get notifications for any other videos that I will upload. Support my channel. Support all these channels. I'm not hating on anybody. I'm subscribed to Jay Williams. I'm subscribed to the other guy that I just don't know his name. I'm having a brain fart right now. The New Orleans guy. I'm subscribed to Marquez Brownlee. I'm subscribed to Total Tech 13, O-Tech UAlt guy, My Project 13. I'm subscribed to all of them. Their video qualities aren't the best. It's the product. Pay attention to the product, not the quality of the video. Support everybody. Support these guys, but call them out on their bullshit also. Okay? Peace, y'all. I'm out.